Dr. Lepisto, we talk about internal toxicity, and that comes from the diet, right? But we eat a lot of convenience foods. We're on the run. Are canned goods okay?
Well, the way to look at this is, let's look at a priority of preference foods. So ideally you're getting fresh fruits and vegetables, something picked right off of the tree or the vine, and arriving at your dinner plate soon afterwards. And then we start to moving into areas like dried goods or frozen. And canned, the issue with those is that a lot of times they end up on the shelf for long periods of time. So as soon as we pick an ear of corn, it's immediately starting to lose some of its bioflavonoid and vitamin content. It's just a natural state of affairs.
That's the way it happens.
Things degrade, that's right. So canned goods are often on the shelf for a year plus at a time. They can be. And remember, it's the time from the original canning. It can be months before it even arrives at your particular, in your shelf, in your cupboard. There's also preservatives that are often used to keep them in the natural state, and that's an effect of convenience culture.
Is that like MSG adding?
Yes, for example, MSG.
How about things like canned tuna and canned soup?
Right. Canned tuna is an interesting one because the tuna is now such a mercury-laden fish that tuna in any source, sushi or canned, or included in dried and in other ways, has unacceptable amounts of mercury, so much so that pregnant women should not consume mercury whatsoever, nor should they consume swordfish or shark. And the easiest solution for that right now is to switch to something like canned salmon. It's not that canned goods are not edible and they're not okay. It's just that we look at a priority of food items. I use canned salmon in my own diet. I use canned beans, for example. But very rarely will I recommend or use a prepared product, you know, one that has multiple ingredients that may have the ability to degrade more fully over time.
So that's how we keep our internal toxins down.
Yes, and the other way to consider this is that there are certain foods that people may be reacting to. We call them reactive foods, which includes both an allergy or an intolerance. They're both immune system reactions to foods. So the short story is certain foods may not be good for certain people. At the top of this list is dairy, wheat, soy, corn, and eggs. Lo and behold, I've described probably the 5 biggest single food items. And that's what we're actually seeing, is that part of this issue is that there's an overconsumption of very small numbers of foods. So just these 5 food groups or types of foods are often the majority of an American's diet. I mean, as Americans, we probably eat 3 to 5% of all edible foods and plants on this planet. And we eat them in large amounts. So if we look at wheat as another example, we've hybridized it. We've occasionally, in the case of soy and corn, we've genetically modified it. We don't sprout it like we used to, and then we eat it in large amounts. It's no wonder some people are having reactions to them.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Lepisto.